variety of attractions, from street performers to tall buildings, businesses, and a variety of cuisines. There's almost nothing that can't be found somewhere in the city. Food in particular has been on a huge rise recently.
Ideally, a meal should be enjoyed leisurely and thoroughly, but many New Yorkers simply lack the time for such activities. And since one can only survive on McDonald's for so long, the era of truly good fast food was born. With sandwich shops, pizza places, and quickie burger store stands galore, there used to be a deficiency of fast, ethnic foods. Mediterranean chefs saw untapped capital in the population of taxi drivers, and the Halal guys started the very first Halal Cart. They painted it the same bright yellow as a taxi to signal to these hardworking individuals that there was a warm meal easily accessed and devoured right there.
Today, halal carts are on almost every city block and are frequented by every type of person imaginable. From poor college students to rich businessmen who only have 30 minutes for a meal break, they make a fast and easy lunch. They've almost become a symbol of New York City as much as the Empire State Building, and are often used in advertisements that are aimed directly at New Yorkers or people who are very familiar with the New York area. The symbol on the side of the Halal Cart coffee cup is used in advertisements on the subway and in billboards in Times Square. Despite their rampant popularity in almost every part of the city, it's still a little bit strange to see halal carts in areas that are normally populated by the upper class or the 1%. So, for one such example is right in the middle of the financial district. Amongst the suit-clad men, the tall buildings, and the bustling atmosphere sits a small herd of halal carts. Like a shining beacon of grease, oil, and questionable sanitation, the halal carts bring a feeling of approachability and commonality to an area that's normally considered out of place or out of reach to the average man. In addition, since this area is so popular with tourists and people who are just visiting or stopping by, the halal carts have become something that they expect to be associated with different parts of New York City. So by putting them in an area that may be a little bit out of place or an area that's quickly changing, it fits in with what tourists or people who are visiting would assume to see.
From an outsider's perspective, this slight alteration in food provided may not be all that spectacular. However, it alludes to a great deal of change, especially when combined with other alterations to life in the financial district. The presence of these halal carts builds off of the growing population of residents in the financial district. In the past, when it was entirely governed by the schedule of the average business workday, most establishments on Wall Street that served food would be closed off by the end of the dinner rush, because their primary customer base would be on the subways and on the trains back home, so why stay open and waste money and resources? Well, now that people live in the financial district, there's a higher chance that someone who's residing there will have a hankering for food at a strange hour that isn't encompassed by the generic work hours. The halal carts cater to that group. Open at the oddest of times, they are a staple to the life of anyone who would be living in the area. These halal carts also mesh well with other symbols of residential life, like public squares and plazas and well-known Wall Street attractions. Any wide-open public space that is frequented by tourists and residents simply enjoying the day is likely to be packed with a variety of these portable food service trucks.